Okay, fantastic. Had some computer glitches this morning. Couldn't get my computer going because it had to download or update. And I love when that happens, right? So it's a good Monday morning. Thank you for joining us today. And I am Monica Graves. I live here in Colorado. And I just wanted to do this week on Monday Mindset on talking about loving yourself. And a lot of times when we talk about that subject, it sounds a little bit egotistical, when you say that you love yourself. And what made me want to talk about this topic is it's Valentine's week. And I hope you have someone in your life that you love, but it really all starts with loving yourself. And so I really wanted to just, get on that topic and talk to you guys about the aspect of loving yourself. So I'm going to see if I can share my screen here for a second. And hold 1 second. I'll get this up. Because we are going to actually talk about, here we go, share. Okay. These are the things we're going to look at when it comes to sort of this philosophy, okay? And the philosophy is that we are all responsible for our own experiences. And when you think about that, you might have someone or a client or friend or family member that says that you make them angry or you make them sad or you make them have these feelings. Well, when you think about it, you aren't making them do anything. They are experiencing their own experience. They're responsible for their own feelings. And that's the same way with you, that you are responsible for your own experiences. And every thought that you have creates your future. So think about things like that. Whenever you have a certain thought, whether that thought is of joy or that thought is of frustration, it is creating your future. Everybody is dealing with all kinds of different patterns. We've all grown up with different parents. Even if you have the same parents, like my kids, have the same parents, but they're totally different in the ways that they think about stuff because everybody has their own pattern. We have our own criticism of ourselves, and we have guilt and self-hatred that can come out. So that's why I want to talk about this, because I want you to understand that your thoughts can be changed. Thoughts are there, and they're just thoughts, and thoughts can be changed. So if you can release any kind of past and forgive yourself for things, then you're going to start seeing that you can start approving of yourself and have more acceptance. Okay, so that's what our topic is today. And, the thing that I think about all the time is being in the moment. If you are experiencing something that is, let's just, say something comes over you and you're judging it and you are in that present moment, how can you change that present moment to be the most powerful? The most powerful for you is to actually change that thought into a more positive one. Okay? So that's why, it's this quote, the point of power is always in the present moment, is for you guys to think about that. Think about if you have, where is your mindset And if your mindset is in how can I be a better person? How can I have less criticism about myself? How can I help other people? It's always in that present moment. So here is these 12 ways that I'd like to go over. And Louise Hay, if you've never heard of Louise Hay, you can Google her. I am actually a instructor and certified teacher for her belief system. And it's all about love. It's all about how much love you can give in your daily things, the thoughts of love. Because I truly believe that if you have more love than hate, then your life is going to be so much better. If you've ever heard of somebody that's like a complainer, and that person complains all the time, and then more things tend to happen to them because they complain, or they're sick, and then they complain about being sick, and then it's like that person, you're like, I don't know if I can hang around this person because they, the way that they act or their vibration is so low that it starts to feed on you, right? And so then you look at that person and you're wondering, do they really care about themselves? Because it seems that they complain and judge so much that it's just this negative vibe that you feel. And so I've had to, leave some friends and leave some coworkers and people, or just not have them very close in my life, is because I love them, but at the same time, I had to separate myself from them in order to work more on me. So I know you know what I'm talking about. But these are some 12, we can call them commandments, but they're things that I want you to consider over this week until we get to Valentine's Day, and think about it when you start to criticize yourself, okay? Criticism, it never really changes anything. If you start to refuse to criticize yourself and start accepting yourself just exactly how you are, then you'll start to see changes. So, we are our worst critics. It's almost like growing up, we loved ourselves when we were babies. And then as we started comparing ourselves and started having that attitude around that age of 4, 5, 6, and really at age 7, that's when kids start to criticize themselves. And it almost becomes a habit. It becomes a habit, and the more you criticize yourself, the more you start to find fault. And so I'm going to encourage you that anytime you are about to criticize or complain about something, try to just switch it. Switch it to what you're thankful for about yourself, and thankful for things that you have. Because if you can switch that attitude, switch that mindset to, you know what? Okay, so I made a mistake. What are you going to learn from it? Okay? And number 2 is about forgiving yourself for things that you might have done. A lot of us carry things that we've done in the past and just can't seem to get over it, that it's something that you did, and it's gone. It's in the past. And it's something that you totally could have grown from, right? You could have grown from that incident of, you did it. It was a mistake. So now just go on and try to live your life knowing that you learned from it. Just forgive yourself and move on. It's in the past. And what about number 3? Don't scare yourself. And I know that some of you guys might know who I am, and I'm this person that I'm not really afraid of very many things. And I tend to grow a lot from my experiences because I challenge myself and I take risks. And so, think about that aspect of be the best that you can be aware, and, just know that there's some things that you can find a pleasure in, and you can switch that thought of, oh no, I can't do that. Um, I'd never be able to get up in front of 3,000 people and speak. Well, maybe you can, right? We have thoughts, all these thoughts that come into our head that are scary thoughts. And we sometimes we have fear for other people too. And then we put that fear on somebody that might really want to do something. It's because we're afraid and we want them to be afraid with us. So try not to do that. Try not to talk yourself out of things because you're afraid of something. Now, of course, there are things that you should be afraid of, and sometimes fear is good. But I call fear false evidence appearing real. That's the acronym that I go by. That I'm sometimes we have this fear about something and it's actually not a real fear. We've sort of created it. So again, try to understand that sometimes there is a true fear, but other times we've talked ourselves into something to try and not do something when actually it could be something really great. Okay, 4 is just be gentle and kind and patient. Who here is not patient? I am one of the most impatient people. And sometimes I really beat myself up about things that I should just treat myself like I would treat my children. Okay. So I've never been really impatient with my children. I've always been very patient with them. And I said, why do I do that to myself? I should be patient. I'm patient with other people. I'm patient with, when I'm coaching someone or when I'm mentoring someone. But when it comes to myself, I'm not so patient and kind. I talk to myself about things sometimes, and I catch myself going, stop it. Stop being like that to yourself. I need to be more gentle. I need to talk to myself more lovingly, just like I would talk to another person. So when you catch yourself doing that, again, try to think about it as a child. Would I really say these things to a little child that's trying to learn something? And start treating yourself with more kindness and try to be more patient. And you'll start to have new ways of thinking about things. Now, number 5 is be kind to your mind. So think about that. If you have something that you really don't like about yourself and you have these thoughts, try to switch that to what you do like about yourself. Because you can change your mind about things. Just like I was saying, thoughts are thoughts and they can be changed. So be kind in that aspect of the way your mind works. We have all been programmed, just like I was talking about in the beginning. We've all been programmed because that's the way your brain works. Your mind works in a way that things that you have heard as you were growing up, they're still there. They're still in your subconscious. I call it a non-conscious. It's in that part of your brain, and they're going to come up sometimes. And so the best thing to do is try to do affirmations. When you do affirmations, and they have to be positive affirmations, okay? But when you do affirmations so that are, they help to program They help to go back into that part of your brain where you have all of these thoughts that are there from years ago, and you can reprogram so that there's going to be more positive than negative. So be kind, and just know that the way your brain is wired is there are these things that are negative that still hide out in your brain, in your mind. So just be kind and try to switch that thought. 6 is praising yourself and celebrating who you are. You know, a lot of times, again, we're so hard on ourselves if things don't work out the way we want. And the best thing to do is say, I did the best. I did the best that I could do. And how can I work on something so that I can even be better? So praise yourself. Praise yourself for doing those little things that are building up to something huge. Tell yourself how well you did it. And have you ever gone to a listing appointment and you are all gung-ho and you know you're going to get this, and then they call you and tell you that they went with somebody else? That can definitely hurt your ego. That can definitely put you in a state of, what did I do wrong? I'm so bad. I shouldn't have done that. And you start to, critique yourself. Instead, learn from it. And I always ask my sellers, what was it that made you go with the other person instead of me? And I learn from that. And sometimes it's price. I had one just recently, and I just said, well, I really felt like I couldn't agree with you on price because I was going to let you down by not being able to sell it at that price. So can you promise me something? Can you please get to me, because it was $100,000 difference in what that other person said they could sell it for. And I said, when you get to this price that I said that we could sell it at, can you reach out to me to be your listing agent versus this person that started you at that high price saying they could sell it? And they agreed, you guys, they agreed. And they said that if we can't sell it at the price that he says, and we have to keep lowering it, then we will reach out to you. And I hope they do. I really believe they will. But it made me feel good that I stood up for myself in my belief in that price was going to be way too high. So it's going to be fun to watch, right? Make it fun for yourself, and praise yourself that you were able to take that stand in something that you believed in. And we'll see. And I'll totally let you know what happens. So the next one is supporting yourself. I have a lot of support. I have so much support with my friends, my family, the people that I work really close with at EXP. And, when you support yourself, that's asking for help. Okay? A lot of times people feel that they can't ask for help. And it's a stubborn thing. It's this thing that they've probably had their whole life, that they just can't ask for help because they want to figure it out. But you are really, when you ask someone for support, you're actually supporting yourself. It's that mindset that you feel that, you know what, let me hear somebody else's opinion about this. And it's actually being very courageous and being strong when you let go of that barrier that you've put up and say, you know what, I would actually like somebody to help me. Now, I've never been afraid to ask for help, but I've worked with people, or I've asked people if I can help them, and they refuse. And I always wonder about that, when somebody refuses the support of somebody that wants to help. They usually don't last very long on my team, or they don't last very long in an organization. is because they've just shut themselves off from support. So support yourself and ask others to support. The next one is being loving to the negatives. So there are a lot of things that can happen to you that are considered negative. For example, okay, you get sick. Now that is one of the hardest things. Like if you get cancer or you get some kind of disease. I've got an autoimmune disease, and when I was diagnosed with that, I learned to love it. I learned to love my body, love the things that my body was going through, even though a lot of them were negative. And before I knew it, I was in total remission. And it was because I feel like I was able to, you know, love that negative thing that can happen. So a lot of times you've got old negative beliefs, and just try to release those and look at it more positive. And I promise when you do that, you'll be able to pretty much heal yourself. And this goes on to the next one, taking care of yourself. Love yourself enough to do the things that are going to make you a better, healthy person. What kind of exercise, find things that you enjoy. Don't make them a thing that you hate to do. There's all kinds of exercises. There's all kinds of things that you can do, eating healthy. And you'll discover that your mind works better if your body's working better. And again, if something negative shows up, there's ways of taking care of that. So be open to learning and taking care of your body. Mirror work. I don't know if you've ever heard of mirror work. I do a lot of mirror work, and I tell you, you should do it. Look at yourself in the mirror, as often as you can. Look directly into your eyes and just feel a sense of love, who you are. Forgive yourself. Sometimes when you look in the mirror, you have to forgive and say, I'm sorry that I'm having these thoughts, and then just switch it. And then think about if you're upset with somebody, and you look in the mirror and you're upset, try to talk to that person in your mind that you want to forgive, and let it go. And that's called mirror work. So anytime you get to that point in life where, I'm feeling really down, go to the mirror and look at yourself and just smile and say, you got this. So talking to yourself is not a crazy thing to do, even though there are a lot of crazy people that talk to themselves. I talk to myself a lot. So love yourself. Do it as often as possible. If you haven't lost the weight, or you didn't get the job, or you didn't get that relationship, or relationship went away that you really wanted, again, praise yourself and celebrate who you are, that you did the best that you could do. And this last one, having fun. Remember the things that when you were a child, try to go back and feel that little person that you were, and the things that were so joyful. Go back to remembering those things that you love to do, you love about yourself. Have fun. I always feel like when I wake up in the morning, I am in search of joy. I'm in search of fun. What can I do today that's going to make my day the best day that I can have? So if you express that joy within yourself, and laugh at yourself too, right? Sometimes people say that I'm so goofy, and I was like, I like being goofy because it makes people laugh. So rejoice in who you are, let the universe rejoice around you. And if you look for those things that are fun, if you look for those things about you that bring you joy, I promise Your day-to-day life is going to be the life that you love. So love yourself. Happy Valentine's Day. And I am going to, let's see if I can find this. It's a sort of like a love treatment that you can talk to yourself about. Let me put this up here real quick because I read it yesterday. And can you guys see that? It says the loving treatment. If you want, you can take a screenshot. Don't do it while you're driving, Shay. But I'll send it to Autumn, and maybe she can get it to the people that signed up. Or I think I know everybody here. We got Jess, Shay, and Becca. I'll send this to you because it says, and I'll just read it and feel what it feels like. But put this somewhere so that when you are in that mindset of things aren't just going the way you want them, and just do this treatment over yourself. So deep at the center of my being, there's an infinite well of love. I now allow this love to flow to the surface. It fills my heart, my body, my mind, my consciousness, my very being, and radiates out from me in all directions and returns to me multiplied. The more love I use and give, the more I have to give. The supply is endless. The use of love makes me feel good. It's an expression of my inner joy. I love myself, therefore I take care of my body. I lovingly feel it nourishing food, beverages. I lovingly groom it, dress it. My body lovingly responds to me with vibrant health and energy. I love myself, therefore I provide myself with a comfortable home, one that fills my needs and is a pleasure to be in. I fill the rooms with the vibration of love so that all who enter, myself included, will feel this love and be nourished by it. I love myself, therefore I work at a job that I truly enjoy doing, one that uses my creative talents and abilities, working with and for people that I love and who love me, and I'm earning a good income. I love myself, therefore I behave and think in a loving way to all people, for I know that which I give out will return to me multiplied. I only attract loving people in my world, for they mirror who and what I am. I love myself, therefore I forgive and totally release the past and all past experiences, and I am free. I love myself, therefore I totally am in the now, experiencing each moment as good and knowing that my future is bright and joyous and secure, for I am a beloved child of the universe, and the universe lovingly takes care of me now and forevermore. And so it is. Isn't that amazing? Yeah. Okay. So I'll send this to you guys so you can put it somewhere, post it, and share it. I just shared it with like my family, everybody yesterday. And I hope this is a great Valentine's week for you. And on Friday, think of me telling you happy Valentine's Day. And I love you. All right.
If you'd like more information or to get connected to the Agent Power Huddle, join our free Facebook group. This call was designed for the agents in our EXP organization, but open to any agent from any brokerage. If you're a guest and you're interested in learning more about EXP or our specific resources within the Agent Collective, reach out to the person who invited you to this call to get more info. Produced by the Agent Collective Media Network.